Hey everybody, Lucard here with a review for you of the movies that were in the May 2021 Horror Pack. So I'm just going to do these in the order that I watched them. So first up, we have 47 Meters Down, starring Mandy Moore and Claire Holt. So the plot of the movie is these two sisters are on vacation in Mexico or somewhere, and the Mandy Moore character has just broken up with her boyfriend, who claims she was lame, basically, and boring. So the sisters decide to go cage diving with sharks to prove to her ex that she's not boring. Yeah, it's kind of a silly concept. So during the cage dive, one of the wires breaks and they plummet, you guessed it, 47 meters down below. So basically the rest of the movie is them trying to survive and get rescued. So what did I like about 47 Meters Down? Well, I thought the acting was pretty decent. Mandy Moore is usually pretty good, and Claire Holt was okay too. And the movie really is those two characters for the majority of the movie. So I thought they ramped up the tension pretty well with the sharks going around the cage and whatnot. Now, you don't see the sharks too much in this movie. And when you do, it's kind of dark. Of course, they're 47 meters down. So guess what? It's like pitch black in reality. So yeah, you're not going to see a whole lot of effects and stuff. There are a few. And the other thing that I enjoyed was the twist ending. I'm not going to tell you what the ending is. But there is a twist. I did like that there was a twist. But I'm going to get to that later. What did I not like about this movie? Well, the majority of this movie happens in a shark cage, underwater, in a very small confined space. So it reminded me a lot of that movie Buried with Ryan Reynolds, where the whole movie he's trapped in a coffin, and basically that's all you see. The entire movie is him trapped in a coffin. It's not quite that extreme with this movie, but a lot of the movie is just in the cage and, them trying to escape the cage, the sharks. So it's very centered on one spot. The other problem I had with this movie was the script. The reason of the cage dive is ridiculous and pointless. And I did not care. I did not care. I know they had to do something to get him in the cage. That's what they chose. Whatever. It is what it is. And then some of the decisions, I guess you'd call them decisions, are questionable to me, at least. I was like, why are they doing that's stupid. So yeah, the script definitely could have used a little work. And the other issue I had was the ending. I know I said I liked the twist ending. However, while I did like it, they could have done a little more with it. And I think that would have helped. And I think it would have made the movie a little more memorable. But overall, I'm going to give 47 Meters Down a 2.5 out of 5. So the second movie I watched was A Night in the Woods. A Night in the Woods is basically about these three people. It's a couple and the lady's cousin going on a hiking trip into a haunted woods. That's the premise. So what did I like about this movie? Nothing. What did I dislike about this movie? Just about everything. The acting is annoying. The characters are so unlikable that you just want all these people to die. These three people are the most uncharismatic, stupid people you can possibly imagine. Everything about this movie is annoying. The editing is annoying. The camera work is annoying. The acting is annoying. You name it. It's awful. The lighting is awful. Everything. There's literally a scene in the movie. This is the shot. And there's a whole conversation for like 8 minutes with this shot. Just like this. No heads, no nothing. What? I mean, I get that it's a found footage movie. I understand that. At least frame something up that looks remotely interesting. There's no excuse for that. It's just lazy. That's what that's called. It's called lazy. There's a scene early on in the movie before they go to the woods where they go into a pub and they get warned basically about the woods, blah, blah, blah. A guy in there singing like these Irish pub songs. And it's like, I don't know. Just, it didn't work for me. So I wouldn't wish A Night in the Woods on my worst enemy. It is probably going to go, it should go with my 13 worst movies of all time list. That's how bad, I cannot stand this movie. This movie was awful. I don't know why anybody even likes this movie. So in case you're wondering of the rating that I'm going to give this movie, I'm going to give it a big goose egg. 0 stars out of 5. So for our third movie, we have The Ascent from 2019. The Ascent is basically a possession movie. It's about a schizophrenic dad who believes his son is being possessed by a demon. So he enlists the help of this controversial priest who has just been released from prison. Now, what did I like about this movie? I thought the acting was pretty stellar for the most part. I'm gonna get to another point later. The lead guy, very, very likable, even in his weird circumstance. I thought the kid, while it wasn't a big part, I thought the kid did an excellent job. I also liked a lot of the lighting and the set design. And the main character builds these like weird sculptures and stuff. And those were all beautifully done. Whoever did it, top notch. A few things I didn't like about the movie was a couple of the characters kind of seemed out of it. For instance, the Tatum O'Neal character. I don't know if she was just phoning it in or what. She never really looked at the guy. She was always kind of like looking off to the side. And it was kind of bizarre. However, there is a twist ending, which, if you know about the ending, the weird kind of character interaction makes a little more sense. So I don't know if that was intentional or not. I couldn't tell. Now, on the twist ending, I loved the twist ending. I thought it was clever because throughout the movie, you could tell that there was something off about everything. So I knew something was coming. I just didn't know what. And I thought they did a good job, and I thought it was interesting what they did. However, there is a sequence, like a coda sequence after the main story is done. It's like, the 10 years later thing, which I found completely pointless because all they did was set it up for a sequel. I don't think a sequel is necessary because the story really kind of just ended. To me, it had a pretty clear ending. So, but overall, I thought it was a very effective possession movie. And I actually enjoyed it, and I recommend this one. I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 5. So our final movie that we're going to discuss from the HorrorPack today is the HorrorPack Limited Edition Blu-ray of Aspirin Waters. It is HorrorPack exclusive number 59. This is an Australian slasher flick. It is your basic monster in the woods type of movie, but it's done extremely competently, and I thought it was very well done. My two biggest complaints are that a lot of the characters all kind of blended together and nobody really stood out. And my other big complaint is, especially in the beginning of the movie, every male actor in this movie has a very, very thick Aussie accent, and sometimes it is hard to understand what they're saying. Now, what did I like about this movie? The effects I thought were pretty decent. You know, the blood, everything, all that stuff looked good. The acting, despite the accents, the acting I thought was fairly stellar. Nobody was phoning it in. Everybody was giving something to this movie, which I appreciated. I know a lot of folks didn't like the monster. I thought the monster looked kind of cool. The lightning and thunder agree with me. It kind of looks like a swamp monster, but with glowing eyes, kind of like headlights. The kills were pretty good. I definitely, if you're into the kills, this is a good one. There is a little bit of nudity, so if you're into that, you know. I'm going to give Aspirin Waters a 3.5 out of 5. I do recommend it, especially if you're a slasher fan. I really don't think you can go wrong. And now I have a bonus movie for you that I also watched this week off of Tubi, and I watched the Jersey Shore Massacre from 2014. It is produced by JWoww from the Jersey Shore MTV show. Now, this movie is your typical slasher, however mixed in with all the Jersey Shore folks. Now, I don't think there's any of the actual Jersey Shore people in this movie. I don't know. I've never watched Jersey Shore. That was never my thing. So, on that note, I cannot comment because I have no idea. I do know what the show is sort of about, and I get the caricatures and I get the characters of this movie, which is kind of loosely based on the Jersey Shore folks. This movie was recommended by Bloodbath and Beyond, so I thought I should give it a shot because I often agree with what they say. What did I not like about this movie? Well, you know, it does have all the Jersey Shore archetypes in this movie. So you're going to get the big hair and the accents. You're going to get all that craziness. It does get old after a little while. The characters in the film are actually fairly funny. So you actually kind of care about them because they're decent people. They just, you know, they're just kind of annoying. One of the highlights for me was when they spoofed Vanilla Ice. There's a rapper character called Italian Ice, and he has a song called Melt. And the song is absolutely hilarious. I need to see if I can find that song because that song's great. So this movie is your standard slasher. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of boobs. You name it. You think of a slasher, this movie kind of has a little bit of everything you think of when you think of a slasher flick. That being said, it's done really well. And I was actually shocked at how much I like this movie. I am a big slasher fan, so it takes a lot to impress me, especially in the slasher genre. The editing, for the most part, was pretty decent, except for a couple. I do have a couple of issues with the editing. Like there's a scene where a character is about to scream, and right when she starts, it cuts to a whole nother thing. And I'm like, you really could have left that in. I don't know, like stuff like that. And it, you know, it kind of has that MTV style of editing, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it does move. So, you know, the killer was well done. The acting was pretty decent. even though the characters were annoying. Great kills. Some of these kills are they're pretty gruesome and like, like I don't want to give anything away, but I do recommend it despite the title and the connotations to Jersey Shore. I do recommend it because it's a very fun movie. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. So if any of you guys are interested in purchasing the HorrorPack or want to find out more info about HorrorPack, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. So check that out. Check those guys out. They're really cool. So remember to stay spooky. And I'll see you guys next time.